Well, it's time for another story today, and the one that we're going to read today is called The Doorbell Rang. And in the story, the mom has made her children some cookies, and it's from Grandma's recipe. And just when they're getting ready to sit down and eat their cookies, the doorbell rings, and some friends have come over. So they are going to share their cookies with their friends. Well, then, once again, before they're ready to eat, the doorbell rings again, and again, and again. So let's see what happens when they finally get to eat their cookies in the story, The Doorbell Rang. So let's look at the cover of our book. Here you see the title, The Doorbell Rang, and this is written by Pat Hutchins. You can see there's a whole kitchen full of kids in here now. So let's move on and see what happens in the story. The doorbell rang. Now there's no kids in the picture now. Mom's just taking the cookies out of the oven. And let's see. I've made some cookies for tea, said Ma. Good, said Victoria and Sam. We're starving. Share them between yourselves, said Ma. I made plenty. So they have a whole plate full of cookies that they're going to share. That's 6 each, said Sam and Victoria. They look as good as Grandma's, said Victoria. They smell as good as Grandma's, said Sam. No one makes cookies like Grandma, said Ma as the doorbell rang. It was Tom and Hannah from next door. Come in, said Ma. You can share the cookies. Looks like Tom and Hannah had been outside playing ball. So now there's going to be 4 children to share all the cookies. That's 3 each, said Sam and Victoria. They smell as good as your grandma, said Tom. And look as good, said Hannah. No one makes cookies like Grandma, said Ma as the doorbell rang. It was Peter and his little brother. Come in, said Ma. You can share the cookies. That's 2 each, said Sam and Victoria, or said Victoria and Sam. They look as good as your grandma, said Peter, and smell as good too. Nobody makes cookies like Grandma, said Ma as the doorbell rang. So now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 children, and they're sharing 12 cookies each. So right now, everybody only gets 2 cookies. Let's see how many more children are going to show up now. It was Joy and Simon and their 4 cousins. So now there's 6 more kids coming in. Come in, said Ma. You can share the cookies. So now they're getting out more plates, so everybody has a plate. So remember, there was 12 cookies. Let's see how many children there are now. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So now everybody's only going to get 1 cookie each. That's 1 each, said Sam and Victoria. They smell as good as your grandma, said Joy. And look as good, said Simon. No one makes cookies like Grandma, said Ma as the doorbell rang. Uh-oh. This could be a problem, because right now everybody only gets 1 cookie each. If more friends are coming over, how are they going to share? Are they going to have to cut the cookies in half? Or will someone not get cookies? Let's see. Who is at the door now? And rang. They act like they don't want to answer the door this time because they don't have enough cookies. Oh dear, said Ma as the children stared at the cookies on their plate. Perhaps you better eat them before we open the door. We'll wait, said Sam. Sam definitely wants to share because he doesn't want to eat the cookies until he sees who it is. It was Grandma with an enormous tray of cookies. Enormous is another word for really, really big. So she brought a really, really big, enormous tray of cookies. How nice to have so many friends to share them with, said Grandma. It's a good thing I made a lot. And no one makes cookies like Grandma, said Ma as the doorbell rang. I think everybody in the neighborhood must have smelled all their cookies, because everybody started coming to the door when the cookies came out of the oven. Have you ever been at home when your mother's been making cookies, or maybe you've helped mom make cookies, and when they start to get ready and finish cooking, you can smell the wonderful aroma coming out of the oven, and it's just so yummy smelling that you just can't wait for those cookies to get out of the oven. Maybe all the neighborhood kids smelled that cookie aroma, and they decided they want to visit. All right, well, maybe your mom can make cookies for you tonight. Maybe you can help. All right, I hope you guys love that cookie story, the doorbell rang.